Okay, this next tutorial video is going to be about how to write the equation for a horizontal line. So we have to think about what we know about horizontal lines. We know that horizontal lines have a 0 slope. And the cool thing about this rule right here is if you don't remember that, you can look at your line, and I'm going to use line 2 here on my line project. And if you look at that line, you can still pick 2 points on that line and find the slope like you normally would, rise over run. Now, between these 2 points, you notice I do not have a vertical change because it's on that same y value. So my rise would be 0. And my run for these 2 specific points right here is 1, 2, 3. Now, it doesn't matter which way I move or which points I choose, because no matter what my run is, if that's any number, 0 divided by any number is still going to give me 0. So that is telling me the slope of this horizontal line, and it's helping me remember that rule. So you can do 2 things. You can skip to the shortcut, and I'm going to show you that in a second, or you can actually plug in 0 for your slope. So I'm going to do it that way first. Again, y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. Now, to find the y-intercept of this line, I would just extend this line out or follow it over to my y-axis. And you can very clearly see that that is a positive 1. Now, another way to do that is to look at the y values for every point on this line. So this point right here is negative 9, 1. This is negative 8, 1. Negative 7, 1. Negative 6, 1. So whatever the x value is for these ordered pairs on this line, my y value is always going to be 1. So I could write that as y equals 1. Or I could just solve this down to get to here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So if I know what my y-intercept is, I'm going to replace b with 1 because I know that b is equal to 1. And it doesn't matter if I have an x value here because anything times 0 is 0. So I'm going to multiply that out. And then when I do 0 times 1, I get 1. So again, I can skip these steps right here and jump straight down to here by just looking at the y value for these ordered pairs or my y-intercept. But in order to get here, you have to understand what we're doing. So to write the equation for line number 2, I would write it, because it's a horizontal line, as y is equal to 1, and then I need to find my domain. So again, domain is your minimum x value to your maximum x value. And essentially you're just telling the calculator or the grapher or Desmos that you need to graph this line y equals 1, but you need to start when your x value is negative 9, and you need to start drawing that line, and then you'll stop when your x value is negative 6. So in order to write out that domain, we would open our bracket and say negative 9 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to negative 6. And what that's saying for your x value is that x is greater than or equal to negative 9, so it doesn't go below negative 9. And it's also less than or equal to negative 6. So it's giving you everything in between those points, which is this line exactly. So if I'm finding an equation for a horizontal line with a 0 slope, I'll always write it as y equals and then my y-intercept or every y value on that line. That should be the same value.